everybody. The YouTube thing here says I'm live. We will see if I technically am live. Or at least I kind of hope I am. I probably need to start doing this more often so I can do more to learn about how to do all this. Um, but if somebody is watching, feel free to jump on and say hello, and I will do some shout outs and whatnot. What I will try and do is hopefully monitor this the best way that I can. I don't know. We'll see how all this goes. But anyway, I will take and we'll see how this goes. If you are not following over on the Facebook, just go over to Facebook and search for The Rural Report. I will start out with sharing a couple of things that I just was live over there and figured I'd come over here because I know that there's people on one and not the other. Not everybody has a Facebook account. Not everybody watches YouTube. So I try and post different things in different places. Some of the content's the same. Some of it's different. Try and be fair to everybody. But I've been doing a lot to, I've been basically doing a lot, let's just put it that way. Doing a lot at work, doing a lot at home, trying to balance work life, trying to help friends, family, neighbors, all that. Been extremely, extremely busy, and then, trying to do my due diligence to put out content and worthwhile content. I don't want to just jump on and throw out something. It'd be real easy to make a thumbnail and have fire and explosions and just put, this is the end of the world as we know it in 3 days, and make some weird prediction and get a whole bunch of comments and clicks and likes and all that. But, more obligation, I don't want to do that. I want to do the best I can to bring you the most, honest, things that I can possibly do. But with that, I wanted to touch on a couple of things, and we'll see if anybody jumps on. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and drop them in. If I see it, I will give you a shout out. If I see the question, then I will do my best to answer it. And if it looks like I'm kind of looking off in that direction, the reason why is because I have this cast to my TV, so I can kind of keep an eye on things. Because, yeah. So anyway. So on Saturday, I had one of my neighbors come over and ask me to do some car repairs. And we was just doing a simple oil change and some brake pads and whatnot. No big deal. And it's kind of a good thing that they had me do it, which, they trust me because, I'm not a big chain, store getting paid minimum wage and hates my job and, whatever. I'm doing the best I can to help somebody that I know. I know them personally. They're my neighbor. I'm going to see them every day, so I want them to be safe. And tearing this thing apart, I saw that they needed more than what they got. It actually kind of turned into a little bit of a money thing to where they kind of couldn't afford the things that they needed to do. So I actually told them, look, the money that you was going to give me, take that and go get the stuff that you need, because I'd rather you be safe. So off they go to go get the parts. Got everything on, everything's safe, everything's good now. But it also brings into, and anybody that's done construction, demo, car repair, a home project, whatever, you've done this probably at least once in your life. But of course, it has to be the very last thing that I'm doing. I got the ratchet on there, and of course, right when I'm trying to do something, the ratchet snaps, and I end up with that. So I am completely fine, no stitches, anything like that. Do have a pretty nice cut, so but other than that, it's not bad. But it did come up to bring medical into this, to where I often tell people, that's new to preparedness and new to everything. Kind of what this channel is all about was I created this channel with a goal of trying to get 100 followers by the end of the year, and I think we're 3.5 months in and 1,200 subscribers, so we're doing something right. Um, but if I can just help one person become better prepared, then it's all worth it for me. But that being said, I do get a lot of emails and private messages and things like that, and they will ask me on medical, and my answer is always the same: that if you're any sort of bushman or camper or anything like that, um, when you go out and you get firewood, and you think that you have enough, and you have a person that's never been camping or anything like that, and you see this big old pile of firewood, and they're like, "Wow, we have more than enough." The experienced person, that camper, bushman, anything, they go, probably need about 3 times that amount. And so that's kind of what I say when people ask me, how much medical supplies should I get? Get to where you think you have enough, like a stockpile of enough, and then times that by 3. And that might get you through a while. Uh, because there's a lot of people that think that a boo-boo kit is going to get them by and, disaster. And they look at the easy times to where, well, I haven't got hurt, in a week or 2 weeks, or, I haven't got a splinter or paper cut or anything like that. And so, a box of Band-Aids will last me a lifetime. Well, until you get this. And then once you get that, and then that breaks out, all the soaps and the alcohol, the different wipes, the different creams and ointments, and the different Band-Aids, because, it's above the knuckle, on the knuckle, below the knuckle. It's, wrapped around the finger. So, not one Band-Aid is going to cover it. So you're using multiple Band-Aids, and then you got to wrap gauze around it and then medical tape. And then you got to do that because it's pretty big, and uh, without getting gory and all the details, I'm sure no one wants to hear. Um, it happened Saturday. Here it is, Tuesday night. I've gone through probably almost a whole roll of gauze, a decent amount of medical tape. By the time you change bandages and things like that, you go through a lot of medical supplies before something like this heals. And so I want to take that opportunity as a learning experience from me to you, that this might be a good time to look through your medical preps and look and see, it's not always just about you. Um, you may look at it and say, I'm not a clumsy person. I hardly ever get hurt, so I have enough. Okay. But in some sort of, event, and it doesn't have to be, world apocalypse ending, whatever. I mean, it could be something like, your neighbor's house catches fire, or you see a car accident or something like that. To have a medical kit with you, or have a medical kit at home or whatnot, to where you can use some of your prep supplies, skills, knowledge, and everything else to be able to help others, is an amazing thing. Which actually segues in over on the Facebook page. I posted, I don't know, 24, 36 hours ago, a question. And it's always really funny over there. The things that I post that I think will actually, be popular and go big, I'll get 2 or 3 likes in the comments. Something that I post that, I think will not get very much. The question I think I posted yesterday was, in the prepping community, what's the one thing that people often forget or maybe overlook? And I think we're up to 70 plus comments and different reactions and whatnot. Which I want to say thank you for anybody that's watching this that participated in over there. Um, but I saw some great answers. You see the ones that you see all the time, which nothing wrong with that. It's great because there is people that join that are new, that have no idea where to begin, and so you get the food, the water, the shelter, the medical, things like that, and it's great. Those are the people that has been part of prepping for a little while, or they've heard some stuff and they're participating, and that's wonderful. And then you start getting the ones, somebody put in there like the glass thermometer. That's one of the ones that seems to be often overlooked. And there were some other ones, the people that have land and the different things of like life straws, and they have experience and things like that. Um, and then there was some that stuck out with me. There was a person in there that said community, and I've never seen somebody put community before, and that's great. My faith in humanity suddenly coming together without some world-ending thing is actually a good thing. And there was actually people that felt comfortable to share stories in which one had a tornado hit their street, and they were a prepper, but nobody really else was, and so they were able to kind of hand out supplies and different things to help people get back on their feet while things were going through. And uh, after the fact and after everything started to get back to normal, not only did uh, everybody kind of buy what they took and gave it back to them, but they all started prepping like that. As they put it, you lead by example. These people probably thought having a couple extra bottles of water and an extra can of beans was, a pantry. And then something like this happens, and now all of a sudden their eyes are open. Wow, this guy had enough not only for himself, but for all of us. That's a great thing to do. It's a great idea. So and I was happy to read something like that. That somebody's preps really uh, was used for an SHTF situation. It's not always about some meteorite or Godzilla or anything like that. It's about something um, happening that is a hit the fan moment. And I would say an E3 or whatever they said is an SHTF situation for that community. It may not affect you or me or anything like that, but it affected them. So there was also some that shared that was in the service, which not only did I thank them, but if anybody that watches this or anything in the future, I always thank uh, anybody that served in the military. So if you served, thank you for your service. Um, but to hear some of their stories that they had, and I believe it was a tornado too. Forgive me if I'm wrong, and that was your comment. I memorized this, but um, that they just the whole community kind of came together. They busted out chainsaws and they got the streets cleared so emergency crews could get in there. They went door to door to kind of help. They knew immediately to shut off gas valves. Immediately grabbed self defense tools and stood at the street corner to stand guard and protect the community. While everybody was trying to get things going, and it was just amazing to see that. Again, that was that community's SHTF situation. I didn't know that happened. That didn't affect me. I didn't know anything about it, but it happened to them, and their plan went into action. The things that you sit back and you watch people like me or any other prepping channel that you watch, how we sit there and preach about this stuff on, get food, get water, get your supplies, get your gear, get your plan, prepare for all this. You prepare, you do it before, because once an event happens, the time to prepare is over. You've got to react. And that's what they did. And the reaction to this was to take their plan, their gear, their prep, their supplies, their skills, their knowledge, and put it all into action. And they did. And they came together as a community and they solved the problem. And I'd really love to hear more of those stories. If you have any stories like that, drop them down into the comments. Send me a private message. Send me an email. I put my email at the beginning of every single video. Um, I'd love to hear those stories. And I think, if you haven't joined over on the Facebook page, and you have a Facebook, over there and search for the Rural Report. But it's amazing to see the amount of participation in such a short period of time. And it really, I'm trying to get people involved and participating. I love to see the way that people get talking and make connections and make friends and form that sort of online community. uh, I've made a bunch of friends that are online offline through pages like this. Uh, so if you haven't joined, go over and at least check it out and see if it's something that you're interested in. I try and bounce back and forth. I seem to be more comfortable over on the YouTube, so I'm over here a little bit more than over there. Um, but I'm going to try and do a little bit better about balancing both things out. I'm also trying to do my best to get this live thing going a little bit better so I can better understand what all these little buttons and things do. Some of these lives I seem to miss. So if you are here and I missed your name, hello, shout out to you. Um, but hopefully we can build this community up. If there's people that that could use this information or anything along those lines, send them my way. I think just about everybody that's responded or participated over on the Facebook page, I have personally got back to them. Same thing with private messages. Same things with emails. If you've watched some of the past videos that I've done, I do a lot of viewer requests, kind of like the one I just posted Sunday, I believe. I had a viewer send me a email, and they said that they're brand new. They're really haven't even begun to start prepping. A little bit of water and some stuff, and somebody pointed them in my direction. Which, if you sent this person, thank you. I'm doing my best to help them out, but they said that they were looking for some prepping gear, some survival gear, and they sent me a link to a little kit from wish.com. And I immediately took that and hit reply, and I went into this whole don't waste your money, this, that, and everything else, and I stopped. And I remembered my video that I put out not too long ago, which I think I've made 2 of them, that something's better than nothing. And in those videos, I also put in there too that there's exceptions to the rules. For the most part, something is better than nothing. The only time it's not is when it's absolute garbage, which, to be fair, some of the stuff in that kit was absolute garbage because, and let me do this in case you haven't seen the video. To be fair to them, to be fair to Wish and whatever company that was that put that kit together, I ordered it. They sent me the link. I ordered the exact one that they were talking about. It took 2.5, 3 weeks to get in. I left it completely in the package, completely unopened, never touched it or seen it or anything. I hit the record button and I went through this thing one by one. If you haven't seen it, I encourage you to go see it. If not, I'm going to throw out some spoilers. So, spoiler if you haven't seen it. But anyway, the compass in that thing, you literally could go to a dollar store and buy a better version. That thing was garbage. It is actually in my kid's toy box right now because that was the sorriest excuse of a compass I've ever seen. They also had one of them back and forth wire saw things. I hate those. I've only seen a handful of them that are durable for the most part and work. I've seen some cheap ones work a time or two. I absolutely, I know I'm probably biased on those, but this one literally, if I would have tugged on it, I could have snapped it. It was the thinnest, cheapest thing I've ever seen. Those, I toss those. Those are garbage. There's a couple of things in there that was good. The case seemed to be pretty good. I will probably do a video on some of the stuff just to take it out and test it and put it in a real world thing. You bought it. I believe it was $18, $19 with shipping and tax and all that. And so I think what I'll probably do is take it out there and actually put a lot of this stuff to the test, just so that way I can show you that the stuff from wish.com is probably not the best. Now, it did come with like a ferro rod and, to do a striker. And I have not seen any of those that don't work. I've seen them where the handles pop off and things like that. But as far as having a bad one of those, I mean, in my opinion, until I come across one, ferro rod's a ferro rod, and they work. There was a couple of other things. The medical kit wasn't terrible. I've actually broke into it and used some of it on this. So far, I mean, it seems to be okay. There were some other things in there, but for me, it was kind of a money waster. If it was cheaper, maybe if it was $10 or something, it would have been a little bit better of a deal. You could have threw the cheap junk out and customized it and made your own kit, which I probably should have added in that video. I don't know of a single kit where it's 100% put together, with a exception of any of like the Stomp or IFAX medical bags from like Refuge Medical. Those are 100% put out, everything you need. You're not going to need to customize that. If you do, it's going to be one minor thing that you add to it. Our friend Justin over at JK Bushcraft Survival, he has a couple little kits that I've personally got that, they're amazing. But as far as a complete, bug out bag survival kit or anything like that, I don't know of a single one, period, that has everything in it that you're going to need, that, you're not going to customize or throw half of it out or anything like that. So, did that one just to be fair to them. So I see what, 2-3 people watching. Nobody said hi yet, so I can't do any shout outs. So if you're watching, hello, thank you for stopping by. But I was going to do some Q&A. I know that I need to get better at letting everybody know that I'm going live. I probably just need to do like every Saturday, Sunday, Monday. If you watch this and you make it this far, drop it down in the comments. What's a good day for me to jump on here and do a live, 9 o'clock every Sunday night or something, so that way we can have the community come together. We can get some questions and answers going. We can throw some different things around. If there's anything that you guys want me to cover in future content, drop it in the comments, send me a message, whatever. I've got asked a ton of questions, and I've got some good video ideas and different content I will be making in the future. There is actually one or two that have had to pass off because the questions/content that they wanted me to do is just not my area of expertise, nor do I feel like I can learn it in a short amount of time for me to put out important information. So I actually passed them off to a good friend of mine that is much better set up to answer their questions and put out that kind of content. And it's just a moral obligation to me that, if I don't know the answer, if I don't feel like I can do it, to where I feel like I'm giving you 110%, I will let you know. I have no problem telling you I don't know. I have no problem telling you that I can't do that. But if you guys want to see more product reviews, I'm more than willing to go do those. Especially if you want to send me links to something, hey, I'm looking at this, water filter or this saw or whatever. Send me a link. I have no problem looking into it, buying it, doing an actual review. But keep in mind, I am not rich. So if you send me some link that it's a $3,000 generator, unless they send me one for free, which probably will never happen, I'm not going to do reviews like that. But, the smaller stuff, yeah, I have no problem buying it and giving you my honest opinion. So that way, maybe I'm saving you 20, 30, 50 bucks, whatever. But if there's interviews that you want me to do, somebody you want me to speak to, maybe somebody from another channel, somebody you've seen, I've read, as I said in other videos, I've reached out to different people that's in the preparedness community that you know from TV to radio, different other things, and I'm waiting to hear back. I've heard back from actually a couple. Um, I've only actually had one say no, but the other ones, we're just trying to work out a good schedule to where we both have, a good hour or so to sit out and talk. And when those happen, I will give you guys details. I do have one interview. I actually just spoke to that person today, and we're just trying to work out. So hopefully that one will be happening pretty soon. I'm going to bring Justin on as soon as we can hammer out. I know he's quite busy at this time of year, but we'll definitely have him on the show. But if there's anything, you guys have any questions, any comments, anything like that, feel free to reach out to me. Drop in the comments. You can reach out to me privately. Anything along those lines. So let's make sure I didn't miss anything. I don't think so. At least nothing's popped up on any of my screens. So I will tell you guys to have a happy Tuesday, or if you catch this on the replay, happy whatever day it is. And remember to remain united because we're all prepping in this together. Good night, everybody.